I want to welcome everybody to our webinar, and thank you for your patience and getting this started. We're going to talk about the ultimate guide to API portals today. Achieve Internet has been building portals now for about 6 years. We've built for large companies and overall, we've done everything from custom to building our own products. So we've been in this industry for quite a while, and we want to cover this today. What we see is every company today is going through digital transformation. Some form, some stage. Everybody is either completely API first or at least very driven by APIs. Every week I talk to a CIO or a VP of technology that is going through and heading up their digital transformation. One thing that I'm always amazed at is some folks are very ahead of the curve. They've been doing this for a couple of years, and others are still working on their strategy of moving to the cloud or making their APIs available, even internally. So don't feel like you're behind. This is something that is evolving, but it is, more and more companies are definitely making this as a priority. Today we're gonna really focus on the why. Why are we building a portal? What is the importance of this? And this really is we're piggybacking off of something that we learned from Gartner. And one of the first conversations we had with Gartner is they're look at a lot of companies as working on the inside out theory, as what does our IT department need? What do we think a portal should have? What are the aspects how we would build a portal? When really the outside in approach is where you should be, right? What's the market need, whether it's internal or external? What is it that somebody that comes in, a developer or a business owner or a product owner come in, what do they need? What's going to make them successful, and how are you going to automate that so you don't have to put somebody on a phone to answer questions, whether it's technical or even customer service questions? So we want to take an outside in approach and really start talking about growing our business and growing your digital business. We want to grow our adoption of our APIs. We want to look at how to promote ecosystems, internal teams. There's a great deal that goes into these portals these days, and especially when you talk about you're integrating with an API management tool. And that's the thing that a lot of folks miss when they're looking at whether they're going to build or buy their portal. It's not just building a repository for your APIs or the content around the APIs. It's the integration into these API management tools. We've over the years done a ton of work with Apigee, and so we're tightly integrated with Apigee, but we've also worked with Azure and AWS and Kong, and each one of them does it a little bit different, and it requires a different approach. So when we look at things, we want to make sure that we're driving real growth, and the operations side of it, the IT side of it is seamless. What you're really concerned about is how do you build your API products, how do you build teams around those products, and how do you build ecosystems around those teams? And you'll see real growth and API adoption if you can make that happen. All right, I'm going to pass this on to John, and he's going to cover our case today.
Thanks, Ron. Welcome, everybody, and let's dive into some of the more detailed mechanics of starting from the beginning of what is an API portal. The API portal serves as a bridge between your internal developers and the people who engage with your API products to help move your business forward. I always like to think of it as a storefront that allows you to educate and market all of the capabilities around your organization's API products to your clients, your partners, and even internal development teams, so they can perform discovery, subscribe to your API products, and also be able to test them in a secure environment. The challenges that we typically see between, for API management are really around access control to products, so that your users, your customers, partners, and internal users only have access to see the API products that are relevant and necessary for them to do their work. Enterprises with multiple API gateways also struggle with an issue around having to require multiple API portals, one for each of the gateways that they have deployed, and that creates a lot of confusion amongst access controls, as well as different layers of governance and maintenance that have to be done on each of the portal instances. Another key challenge that our clients see are integrational with your enterprise foundational services. These are platforms like SSO and CI/CD pipelines that are so commonplace nowadays, but also so important to the success of your API management program, that being able to rapidly deploy your API products onto a portal and also control access to them through your enterprise SSO are standard and key elements that are part of any solution these days. And also, as Ron was mentioning, is changing your thought process from inside out to outside in. Looking at what the folks here on the left of the screen are, what are they seeking to gain from your API products? And taking that approach of an outside in allows you to focus on what your customers really need versus what your internal developers think that they need, because they're probably likely very different things.
John, in a number of cases too, organizations might have different regions or departments or divisions. So they might have a couple of different identity management systems or even CI/CD systems. So being able to handle a multiple of whatever your IT department, the enterprise is requiring, is another factor that comes in quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great, good addition. So what are the benefits of a modern API portal? One of the key ones is being able to drive adoption of your API products through the presentation of only relevant API products, but also all the information that surrounds the API product to allow your users to effectively use the data that's being provided through that API. Portals with advanced analytics capabilities also encourage innovation and visibility into how your API products are being used. So encouraging innovation in the sense that you're able to see who's using your APIs, how they're using your APIs, with what frequency they're using your APIs, and then drive a little further with those users and understand that whether or not they are getting everything they need from that API product, and get into a cycle of continuous enhancements from there. Also, the diversity of views that are available through a modern API portal help your API providers or coders leverage the expertise and experience of groups from across the organization to bring their unique perspectives and ideas into the development process. So the API portal basically removes all those barriers to viewing those API products across the organization and allows input from different trains of thought. Also, promoting innovation is having you stay closer than ever to your API consumers, again, through that visibility and tracking, and ahead of your competition because you're getting that continuous feedback loop. Your API portal should also easily scale along with your traffic and API volume, and a portal that is constructed correctly will be able to handle a large volume of requests and a catalog that supports varying levels of, I guess, API product volume. So having that ability to rapidly expand as your business grows is another key benefit. Okay. So APIs as a product, when we think about what are the key features or benefits, again, as you go through here, is the ability to productize your APIs. It's a very big part of it is taking advantage of the user friendliness of your API portal to develop products tailored to different user segments. So if you can create products that are targeted to a specific set of users and then be able to innovate on those, creates opportunities for additional revenue streams for your organization, and provides a bridge to your other digital assets.
John, this is important too. Sometimes an API product is one API, but several times it might be a group of APIs. So key management around those APIs and being able to have a team be able to manage access to that set of APIs or that product is a very key element to a good API portal.
Yeah, and I think moving on with a kind of similar thought is having a single API portal for that supports multiple gateways. So in order to reduce redundancy of your API products across the organization and how those APIs that reside within those products, like you were mentioning, Ron, is to, if we can reduce those redundancies and, increases the ability to maintain the site and keeps the information that's most relevant in front of your users. So that's a really big part of this, as well as tracking the adoption and usage. So we talked a little bit earlier about that inside out approach. So once you're looking at how adoption works and how your consumers are using your APIs, you can then make those changes and see how those changes might affect adoption and usage.
Yeah, and in some cases you might be throttling your usage. Or you might want to see that a client that you expect to have high volume has low volume, so the adoption is low. So the idea of tracking and being part of a team helps that really come out and promote the API adoption.
Yeah, and I think even beyond API traffic and usage, being able to with advanced analytics capabilities, being able to track things like ROI, that's becoming obviously more and more important, as this is a tool that is being used by users outside of an organization, clients, partners that we discussed earlier, and also the direct and indirect revenue that you're seeing because of your API program. The other major things that we look to do through our API portal is to promote innovation. So we talked a little bit about having metrics to promote innovation, but also as you provide more and more information around your APIs and your full ecosystem to your clients, partners, and developers, they're able to innovate with those particular products. Maybe they're going to be used in a way that you didn't expect, or that there's some feedback that comes through from your users that, hey, this product is actually good for these other things, these other functions as well, or different use cases. So you'll be able to collect data and understand your user base more, and that understanding will allow your business to evolve. And then the other major component that we look for is to be able to control access to specific groups. So while API portals, number one, they promote collaboration and boost adoption by providing your API consumers a space where they can interact with one another. Not all users are the same. They don't all need access to the same set of data products. So API portals allow you to provide that level of access and provide specific access to the products that are most relevant to your users. So you'll have obviously the collaboration tools to keep to keep an eye on. Well, your users can leverage to create and innovate around your APIs, but again, to ensure the security of your APIs, the access to specific groups is a very key element to that.
Yeah, when you look at the global side of it as well, and the data protection, you need to know where these folks are coming from, where we can keep their data, where they're allowed to access. We have a large credit bureau company that has multi regions globally, but they want to show their partners that they have all these different business units and access to data in several different regions. And the way they were able to do that is to unify it into one portal and be able to control access. And of course, everybody has to be approved or monitored as you go along. But it did allow them to grow their business quite a bit, over 300% when it came on the digital side, by just showing everybody the breadth of what they had to offer.
And I think even within the larger groups here that we're looking at with these internal developers and your partners and clients is the ability to create groups or teams within each of those user silos. So solutions like AppyBoost, which we've created, include team building features that allow an administrator to create teams of all sizes that they can then collaborate and innovate on your apps and in a product and type of environment. So that's just, again, another benefit within these larger, subgroups of users that you can apply through a team building feature. All right, so we talked a little bit about those are sort of the benefits, but the features that drive all of those things are, another main topic to discuss here. So one of the most important is the ability to productize and build your audience through tools we call Product Optimizer. But the main goal is to provide a mechanism where you can package your API products and then, in essence, market them to specific audiences. Some of the features that help organizations with promoting their API products once they are formed is the ability, so things like having, advanced registration workflows so that you can have self-service that then places the user into the right team or segment to manage that API product access, as well as the ability to take an API product and group those into separate products. Again, that might be industry focused or audience focused in their nature. Additionally, productization allows you to set different terms and conditions by API products. So if you have a product that's maybe in Europe and you've got GDPR concerns and disclosures that have to do that are different than a similar product in the United States, you can manage those terms and conditions by the product. The other key elements or feature that we look for are developer tools. So more or less just being able to get in and through that API documentation and code samples and SDKs, allow developers to quickly access the information that's most relevant to them and what they need to do to manage and configure the APIs that you're providing. Additionally, a sandbox environment where you can immediately test and experiment with the APIs as well as do some troubleshooting is another key feature that is becoming more and more common. An integration platform that sits in parallel with your API portal to create integrations with their solutions, with third-party systems, to improve overall adoption of your API products is another key feature of an API portal, as well as the developer community platform. So things like forums and FAQs and other places where they can gain insight into how other developers are using your APIs to solve problems more effectively or efficiently, but also just collaborate with one another on how they're using the APIs and any maybe difficulties or that they've encountered with them.
Yeah, John, I think one of the things that we see in different portals that is a challenge is when you want to go to a forum or you want to get a blog post about a particular API and you have to leave the API itself and navigate outside of where you originally were. If your focus is on a particular API product, you want all that information right on that page. You want to be able to access the latest forums. You want to see what people are chatting about. You want to talk about the posts that have come up, any updates. All of that information has to be central, right there on the page, because developers have a tendency to have short attention spans, right? They're trying to solve a problem. They're looking for a path. And if you get them off that path, you're more than likely you're going to lose them. So we want to make sure that a good portal has all of those resources in that ecosystem. They know exactly where they live and what they can do within that ecosystem.
Yeah. We've talked already about those access controls being an important thing, but another key feature is the ability to scale and transact on a larger basis as your business grows, and the API portal is leveraged more and more across different teams and groups, internal and external to your organization. So having things that like a flexible product catalog that can expand from a small number of, let's say, under 10 APIs up into the thousands. So I know, Ron, you would agree that we've got some very complex clients who have thousands, 2, 3, 4,000 API products, and the scalability has to be there to accept those API products, but also it has to be easy to maintain and update without having to go through a lot of manual process. So that's where we see a lot of efficiencies with the integration with a CI/CD pipeline, and that makes things a little easier to scale and maintain over time. And it's just again, a key feature that that has to be there in order for your API program to succeed.
Yeah, John, I think that one of the things that most of our clients are challenged with is that developers are not product people. So when they name an API, it's not necessarily well defined, and a lot of APIs sound the same. So being able to categorize those APIs in the right place, and then being able to talk and add information so somebody can quickly find something through a search or drilling down into a catalog. And every company's different, right? Every company's unique. You have a different way you want to present, and having the flexibility in your catalog to present to your business needs is very important. It's not just one way, that we have the flexibility to build beyond that. And I say we, and I apologize. We obviously have a product, and ultimately that is what we're talking about here. But this is our experience on what we think an API portal should be, and the flexibility where we see clients run into issues. So the things that we've built, we believe in, and their reason is because we've had to build them, many times for different clients. So a little bit of
Extra color.
Oh yeah, apologize. Yeah.
And all that wrapped into a portal that's engaging and efficient to interact with. So engaging not in the sense that it's pretty or that the graphics are nice, but engaging in the sense that relevant information is put in front of your users as quickly as possible, but also creating efficiencies in being able to search your API product catalog and bring back information that's relevant to you, or API products that are relevant to you, without having to do a lot of digging beyond a simple search. So now we're into the use case. And
I referred to this earlier. This is something that we built. Experian has multiple regions and multiple different business units, and they wanted to be able to show all of the breadth of their offerings. And what they were finding is that people knew them as the credit bureau or the credit folks. So you get your credit score, but they didn't realize that all the other data that Experian had and throughout the world. So they might use it in North America, but they had the same information in Central America, even though that it might have different rules. As John was saying earlier, the T&Cs might be different. The approach might be a tad different, but being able to see all of those different regions and be able to access it through that region. So in this case, they're an Apigee client. It's well documented. Apigee has done a number of case studies and videos with Experian over the years, and they have several different Apigee organizations or orgs that have the data that keeps it all, the privacy and etc. So they can go along here and still keep people within the security side, the privacy side, and if you are a approved vendor or approved partner, you're able to get access to these different regions, but they have complete control over that, and they have complete control over the APIs and the documentation that are going along. And they've seen adoption grow by 300%. They've seen the business side of it grow tremendously. Once again, very well documented through Apogee, and Experian has done a number of videos around this as well.
Now let's talk about another use case that we've seen in the not too distant past with Allstate Roadside Services.
Allstate is a company that has a number of different departments as well. Some of them not everybody knew about. I sure didn't when I first started working with them. But the roadside services was simply, how do we get information out to somebody as quick as possible, right? And when you're talking about somebody that might have broken down or gotten in an accident, they want access to an agent or the information that they need right away. How do I get a tow truck? How do I get emergency services? All of that at the fingertips when it's through an app, right? Well, to build that app, it requires a number of APIs, a number of areas to companies that contribute. You might have your tow truck, you might have your emergency services. You know, there's a number of areas that go in to get the proper information to somebody that needs it, and they don't want to talk to somebody. They don't want to talk to a representative. They're having the worst day of their life or a very bad day, and they want that information at the touch of their hands. And Allstate saw a huge reduction in calls, a huge uptick in satisfaction, and just an overall being able to get more information out to people through their roadside services.
Great. Well, with that, we'll conclude today. Ron, if you want to close us out.
Yeah, ultimately, as I said, we've built a product around this, and but that's not the purpose of our webinar today. We wanted to talk about all the things that go into portals. I know when we first got into this about 6 years ago, I looked at it and I said, wow, that's a pretty simple website. We'll just put it up, connect a couple of areas, and we're good to go. Well, it has evolved quite a bit. Obviously, the market has evolved, APIs have evolved, Apogee and other API management tools have evolved. We're now integrating into no less than 6 or 7 different areas, whether it's SSO or CI/CD, security platforms. It's a nonstop. The demand of where API programs are going has really grown. One thing that is still pretty prevalent, and I alluded to this in the very beginning, was everybody's at a different stage. We do talk to some folks and we use the word, marketplace or commerce, and their eyes just light up and they want to run, right? They're just not ready to make money off of this. But my favorite story is I have 2 good golfing buddies that are in the insurance business, and at least once every 2 months they come to me and say, Ron, I have a partner that wants to connect to our API. They can't. Can you guys solve this? And the answer is no. They have an IT department. They have their own way of doing things, and these are very, very large insurance companies. You would know them if I said them. And they're the sales side. They all, and what's amazing to me is how the business units are involved. They know, whether you call them citizen developers or you call them part-time developers, everybody's becoming more technical. Everybody in the enterprise is going to have some sort of technical expertise in the next few years. And Gartner has a lot of great quotes and percentages on it. But I think the understanding of who's going to use your API portal, it's not just developers. They're absolutely the key. We have to make sure that they get what they need, but we also have a lot of other people, product owners, business units, management. We really need to build for all of them. So our idea of this, Gartner's idea of the inside out and a robust API portal we see it as growing dramatically in the future, not just being a one and done and forget about it. So I hope you got something out of this today. Obviously, we're willing to answer questions. We would love to show you a demo of our product. But we're also open for discussions because not everybody is ready for a third party, and many people, they can just start with an integrated portal that works for them today. You really need to, one thing that I stress with clients is, are you ready for this? Putting up a portal and letting it go, not having anybody manage it, not having a center of excellence, not having a group that's going to build these teams and promote these teams is like anything. You put it up, nobody cares. This isn't the 90s. We really need to make sure we're ready for an API program, and my company Achieve can help you build not only your API portal, but we can help you build your API program. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen to John and I today, and look forward to talking to you all here soon.
Thank you, everybody.